you can really become the 1%.
The way you talk about yourself, how you think about yourself is gonna be your reality. You gotta go ghost. You gotta go ghost. Don't be seeing all these same girls gonna be here.
If you had to tell somebody right now, to pursue a career or to focus on entrepreneurship, what do you think your answer would be to somebody? What's up, everybody? Shy here with another episode of the Vision to Reality Show. Back at it again with another guest. Today, I got my guy Will here. He's about to drop a lot of keys. He's a fellow entrepreneur working in tech. So we're really going to have a dope conversation today and, really just hear how he transitioned into the tech world and still balances all the things he's doing and, what he's got coming for the future. So I appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
Appreciate it, brother. Nice being here. Good. Blessed. Can't complain.
Yeah, bro. So, I've seen you, really grinding and, really just being locked in into your journey and, transitioning to tech. So, that's what this show is all about, like really helping people, discover different paths and different ways. So obviously I kind of want you to give your background, let the people know who you are, give a little brief bio for those who don't know you.
Yeah. So my name is Will. I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised here. I'm Kenyan, East African. Just growing up in Houston, playing ball. I played college basketball for a little bit. And then after that, a lot of people get lost with, sports. So even back then when I was playing, I always knew that I wanted to be in some type of making money with business or something like that. So I was business minded. Then transitioned to the day trading, did that for a little bit, got started, still do it now. Lost a lot of money, of course, with IML and made a lot of money too. But those connections I made through IML with network marketing propelled me into getting into credit, which I did next. I will talk about that a little bit, and then eventually into tech, which I'm doing now as well. So a lot of avenues. So brief overview of me, but I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Dope, man. So yeah, you said you played ball in college, and when did you really get that entrepreneurial bug? Because that's what really hit me around college when I was about to graduate. I'm like, I want to find things that can make me money without a job. So when did it happen for you?
Actually in middle school and high school, because I used to sell shoes on Facebook. So no car, people used to pull up on my street. I used to go pull up on people selling shoes, Jordans. I was going to all the sneaker con conventions back then. So back then I was making a little money, and my mom, she had a restaurant business too. So I was doing that on the weekends to make money and use that money to either for AAU or to sell shoes to make more money. So I was always the freshest dude back then, and I just like being fly. So that comes with hard work. So, that's how it started. And, 10 years later, I'm here.
Got you. So yeah, when we first met or got introduced to each other, it was once again through Adrian. I feel like I'm always shouting him out on the show.
Shout out Adrian.
He's always, bringing me around dope people. So, you were in the credit repair space. Are you still doing credit repair?
Yes, on the side as well. Yeah.
Okay. So just how'd you get into that? Because that wasn't really a popular lane a couple years ago. I feel like it's starting to become popular now. But even when you were doing it heavy, people really were just kind of getting into it.
Yeah. So my mentor T Fade, he actually taught Adrian everything he knows. He got Adrian rich, made me a lot of money too. So he was an IML, and when he fell off of that, he went to credit repair. This end of 2020, early 2021. So I'm trying to do what everybody's not doing, and I'm seeing he's buying all these cars off credit, and everybody needs credit no matter what. You're not trying to start a business. You need to learn how to do credit. I'm not learning how to do it, but the ins and outs of credit.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, this is a good business. And I need to teach myself when I want to go buy a car, buy a home, whatever, I need to have good credit. So I got with T-Fade, got in the mentorship group. And Adrian, I saw him, Adrian was going crazy, making $50K a month, $100K a month. So Adrian was in the chat too, because I was his mentee. So started doing credit repair. I'm going crazy with it. But Adrian had a big following. He didn't know how to do credit repair. So we teamed up with his following and my knowledge of credit. And we just started going crazy over that year, 2 years. And we've been locked in ever since. We made a lot of money together. that's my brother for life too. So that's how I got into the credit space.
Got you. So you did network marketing like myself. That was like, I feel like that's the gateway drug, for all of us in entrepreneurship. So what was your experience like with network marketing? Because a lot of people have a very bad, just a very bad mindset when it comes to it because they feel like it was a scam. How do you feel about that industry?
Honestly, network marketing, one thing I like about it, they teach you how to think. And that's one thing, if you want to grow as a person, I'm not the same person I was 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Only thing I've changed was my mindset. That's it. So Think and Grow Rich, different books and podcasts, that's what I listen to every day. And that's one thing they instilled in me back then that helps me now, waking up early, different stuff to that. So good work ethic. But I had a great experience with it, to be honest. It ended badly because I didn't want to leave the company. And at the time, I'm making like 5 bands a month. And being like 2021 at the time, making 5 bands a month is a lot living at the crib. So
right.
Met a lot of great people. I met Adrian, I met T-Fade, I met 6-7 figure earners that in their early 20s that are still my brothers to this day. So, and opened to me a network all over the US. Like, you're from New York, what I'm saying? So like, we probably never met, you know what I'm saying? So
network is your network.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one great thing I will say about network marketing. The products and the people can be it can be a lot sometimes, but if you take advantage of it, I feel like it's the easiest way to connect with a multitude of people, because most of the people in my close circle, I wouldn't know if it wasn't for me doing different network marketing companies.
Exactly. And if you want to grow outside your area, because most of us, we're from like middle to low income neighborhoods. So going out to see different areas of the world, different people, it grows your mind instead of your little neighborhood. And, you might have to go move out your city, move out your state to grow as a person. So one thing is just don't be comfortable being uncomfortable, essentially.
Right,
That's what I learned from network marketing.
Yeah, you got to definitely, get uncomfortable to be comfortable. So you said you're from an East African background?
Yeah, East African. I'm Kenyan.
Okay, so what was that like with, having Kenyan family and parents, and were they against, you taking an entrepreneurship route?
So it's funny because back then when I was doing it, so when I was playing ball, I played ball in Kansas for 2 years, like a year and a half. And then I came to Houston. So I was going to school on the side too. So then around COVID happened, I kind of slowly stopped going to school, got into network marketing. So I was still going to school to make my parents happy, but I did not want to do that because I didn't see the money in it. I didn't see like my future doing that. So my parents were against it. Me and my mom got in a huge fight when I tried to drop out the first time. I tried to drop out like 3 times. She killed me all 3 times, but end of the day, you gotta do what's best for yourself. But African, we prioritize education, not just going to a university, but I spend more time learning by myself than I would ever did in school.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like I'm smarter than a lot of people too, because I work on myself outside of a classroom.
Right.
And a degree don't define who you are if you're smart or not. 4.0 doesn't,
100%.
So as long as you're putting education first, it doesn't have to be conventional. You're gonna win in life. So
yeah,
they were against it though from the get go though, but they're happy now.
Yeah, I bet they are. They say a formal education will make you a living, but self education will make you wealthy, and that's beyond money. So in college, right, you're playing ball. That's when you started getting into trading and all that stuff, or was that after college?
Right after the Kansas thing. So around this is like 2019, the college thing, and then like 2020 is when I started doing Forex.
Okay, what'd you major in college? Just curious.
First I was doing biochem, and then I went to nursing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you want to do with your degree? You really had no plan for you.
I really didn't. I just want to be an engineer because I know they make money, so I didn't really have an idea. But then I have a lot of nurses in my family, so that's why I did nursing, and I was like, that's not the way. So I just ended up stopped doing that.
Got you. So after that, you come into MLM, you're meeting all these people, and then that's when the credit thing starts to take off after that. So what did you like really have to do to transition? Because going from like network marketing where everything is kind of done for you to then becoming a entrepreneur on your own and having a business, what was that transition like?
So network marketing, the higher you go, it's like you have your own small business. So I was basically a P5 at the time when I left the company. So I was making $5,000 a month with like 200 people under me. So I'm waking up at 6 o'clock for morning dedication, basically like more morning motivational speeches, stuff like that. So I already had that kind of business owner mindset background at the time. All I had to do is now for my own business instead of for somebody else, getting somebody else rich. So I just literally took everything I learned from that into my own daily lifestyle and did with the credit stuff, and it just blew up like crazy.
Got you. So, all right. So credit, I'm just trying to keep the timeline, together. And then when did you get into tech?
So tech was actually last year.
Okay. Yeah. So once again, talk about transitioning into that, because that can be hard when you've been, full-time entrepreneur and now you're working, in the capacity of another company. So how did that happen? Like, what even made you want to get into tech?
So basically what I wanted to get into tech. So my mentor, the one that taught me credit, started doing tech. So I'm like, he keeps pivoting. Like, why is he pivoting? So I'm looking, and I'm making good money at the time with the credit business. I'm doing NFL people, NBA clients, celebrity clients. But one thing I was saying this before we started, not all money is good money. So people pay you maybe $1,000, $1,500. They talk to you crazy, all types of stuff. So when I started seeing that, I'm like, what can I do to have a sustainable income and I could be happy with? So credit, the money is good. You can make $10,000, $20,000 a month, but you're working almost 24 hours a day. People are calling your phone nonstop. And a lot of people have miseducation that they try to like blame it on you. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of more of like a headache. The money was good, but it was a headache. So like people talk down about 9 to 5, but 9 to 5 is what you use to invest into your side gigs, your businesses that's going to make you wealthy. So I was like, you know what can I do to make me 6 figures that I can use to make me more money down the line? And I feel like tech's the best thing working remote,
Right. And you made a good point. A lot of people, especially when we were in MLM and network marketing, they talk down on having a job, man. And like you said, a job is a vehicle. I know that they say job is just over broke or whatever, but if you use the right way, especially if you have a job where you can gain a valuable skill set, like you can really become the 1% by leveraging that job.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you brought that point up, because even me, like I was trading and, I was an entrepreneur for years, and then I got into tech. I'm not on the same side as you. I'll talk a little bit about the side I'm on. But just having that foundation, and then you can go build your dream outside of that job. But it's really hard to build a dream when you have no foundation.
Exactly.
So I think, you made a very valid point. But even, like I said, working in tech and getting into tech, what did you really have to do? Because you didn't go to school for that, right?
I took a little bit of classes in school, but a lot was self-taught.
Self-taught, okay. Yeah. And was it like online courses, or like you had to get certificates? Like if someone's trying to get into tech right now, into your capacity, what's some things they can do or look into?
I'll do research first, what you want to do, because tech's a huge field. That's the first thing. And then next, I'll be on courses like Udemy, YouTube, and also get a mentor. If you don't have a mentor in anything you do, not just tech, you're going to fail. Right. You're going to fail. So if somebody's making 600 figures, they're charging $5,000 to $10,000 for mentorship. People travel with all this money, so use that into your future. Go pay somebody to actually teach you the ropes, ins and out, and actually might get you connections too to actually help you get a job or whatever business you're doing. So, I got me a mentor. That's the first thing. Paid money for that. Courses, still pay for courses to this day. I still learn. We're getting my certifications right now, but I would also recommend getting certs as well. It looks good on your resume. Resume and then interview.
Okay, cool. So like you said, having that mentor and investing in yourself, because I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to invest in themselves. They want to make 6 and 7 figures, but then the minute it's time to buy a course, or the minute it's time to get that personal mentorship, they're like, I gotta pay to learn. It's like, why would I teach you something that could possibly make you 6 figures for free? So just speak on the importance of just having a mentor or finding that mentorship real quick.
And I think that come back from my MLM background, because we're paying $200-$300 a month for education, essentially.
Right.
So that's why I kind of already got that mentality. And people pay $100,000 for school to get a degree, but that doesn't mean nothing. Right. So use that same money into something of value that you actually want to do with your life, is your business. And that comes with education. Only thing that's separating from where you want to be now and then where you want to be at later is education and knowledge. 100%. So if you read and you're studying and you're watching videos, podcasts, you're learning from somebody, it's going to short down. Instead of taking it 10 years to get into tech or whatever, or 5 years, it could take a year or two just from paying somebody money. And money you can make it back. All that money I spent on courses and mentorship, I made it back already. 100x. So nobody laughing. Don't be afraid to spend money, especially if this is something you want to do, whatever you want to do.
And if you want to return out of it, like, exactly. I feel like if you want to accept the bare minimum and get the bare minimum, then, put the bare minimum in. So as far as your actual role, I don't think I asked you yet. What is your actual role inside of tech? What do you do on the day-to-day?
So I'm a software security engineer. So essentially is I guard applications. So your iMessage, that's application. There's web applications. So like Google's a web application. So I make sure that the code on that is running sufficiently and there's no malicious stuff that a third actor, like a hacker or the scammers, are doing anything that can steal information or can shut down the company. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. I scan the code, I review the code, and if there's anything wrong with the code, I let the developers know what to do to fix it. And essentially, so I'm kind of more of a consultant, and nobody laughing over, like a software consultant, essentially. That's how you want to break it out.
So you don't actually, do you know how to code?
Oh, yes, I'm proficient.
Okay. Yeah. So like, and I'm not high level at this at all, but like Python and
JavaScript. Python and Java is my top 2.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad I hit those on the head. So do you feel like you have to be a super technical person to get into your role?
I think it comes with time, to be honest. So it's just with education, how much time you put in. I would say that it's not as hard as people would think it is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a wizard. Like I was like a B- student, so I wasn't the smartest kid, but I wasn't the dumbest kid either. But I think anybody can do it if they put the work into it.
Right. Because I got into tech about 2.5 years ago. I'm on the business development side, tech sales. So I've been an account manager, I've been a BDR, business development representative, but that's more so taking that software and, presenting it to other businesses to sell it, really bringing in the money. So I'm not really on the technical side. Obviously, you do learn things over time, but I feel like, I was always kind of scared to look at roles like yours because I'm like, I don't know how to code. I don't know how to, read code or do any of that type of stuff. So do you think that someone can make a transition? And obviously you did it, not having any experience, but what do you think that transition would be like for the average person if they're really trying to learn, just enough to get their foot in the door?
I would say take it day by day. It's like riding a bike. It's going to get easier over time, so just take it day by day. Don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of information overload, but as long as you're breaking it down into pieces, and that's why the mentor is key, because they show you how to study. They show you how to break things down and what to learn, what not to learn, so I think I wouldn't say it's easy, but I won't say it's hard either, though. Right. It's just how much work are you willing to put in and how hungry are you?
Okay. So, tell us a little bit, you don't have to give us your exact number, but what's a range for people coming into that role? And, what is the top end? Like, what's the possibility of salary-wise working in that role?
It could be like 100 to like 180.
That's 100 starting.
Yeah, I can start 100.
Okay, so you can literally start up at 6 figures. Like you said, it's worth getting that mentorship because you're literally coming in at a 6-figure position. And you're working remote?
Yeah, remote.
Okay. Do you think most of these jobs now are remote for your type of role, or?
For my role, yes, because cybersecurity, it's a shortage of us. So they're not really as stingy with coming into the office, and there's companies all over the world that need us. So they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta come to the office because they need your skill set. And if you can work from home, they're not really like everything's online. So
Right.
it's mostly remote.
So I think, a lot of people too, when they hear that these jobs are remote, they also wonder, like, because you do a lot of other stuff as well. What does your day to day look like? How do you balance your work life, with your I should say your 9 to 5 life with your other work life, and then of course your personal.
Okay, so I would say I wake up every day like 6 to 7. And I have meetings. First meeting is like 8 o'clock, and meetings vary day to day. But I know I have a meeting every day at 8 o'clock. So first meeting of the day, I eat, like I have a normal life, so it's whatever the day comes with. Every day is different, but I would say that 8 a.m. meeting, and then do the work I need to be done. Lunch at 12. Nobody around like 4 o'clock. I shut it down, and then I might take a little power nap, go to the gym, and then work on my my credit business. And then I'm still day trading too, like more swing type now. And then that's pretty much it. Then have fun on the weekends with my friends and stuff, or just lock in studying.
Got you. So, like you said, you still have that balance. And I think that you made a very good point, is that you can do multiple things. Like you may have to take a break from something. Like of course, when I got into tech and I was trying to more so learn the solutions that I was going to be selling and talking about, like, of course I had to, kind of cut back certain things. But like you said, for me, it's the same way. I wake up, I might have a team meeting, and then, I might be making emails, doing calls or whatever for the rest of the day. And even throughout the day, like, I'm trading in the morning if I see a setup, or I'm handling other stuff throughout the day because I'm working remote, and I'm able to actually have that flexibility too. So do you think you could work the same job if it wasn't remote?
Yes, I could, but during the day, since I'm remote, I can do a little side stuff, but I would say it's not hard. It's just that traffic and stuff like that, like little annoying stuff. But people do it, so why can't other people do it?
No, I feel you on that, and I think anything is it's to the person. Like I tell people, if you really wanted to, you could do my job in like 3 hours.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But some people they take 8 hours because they prolong it. So do you feel like that with your job? Like if you really wanted to, you could just probably knock it out in a couple hours a day and then go on?
Yeah, so like my job is a lot of time management. So they give you due dates like 2 weeks out, a month out. So it's like school, like they give you homework, and a lot of people wait till the last day to do it. And you can do it in one day, you chilling the rest of the days. So the same thing with like, for at least my field, I feel like it's just a lot of due dates, and meet those due dates, time management, I might not work the whole 8 hours. I might break it down slowly, increments, and then get it done by the due date. But nobody's laughing. I think that's how I feel. Like, it's just really how fast do you want to work?
Got you. So I kind of want to go back real quick. You said your job entails like guarding applications and that type of thing. So like, give me an example of like, you don't have to say the company name, but like something that you do on a day-to-day, or a company that you've worked with, because you're working with other companies, right? Okay, so your company is providing that service to protect their software.
Yeah. Okay. So company currently, I'm just an HR company, and payroll. So we have a lot of social security numbers on there, stuff like that. So people are trying to break into that because guess what? That's how they use credit card fraud or social security fraud, things of that nature. So I got to make sure that our code is secure. And it's called penetration testing, ethical hacking. So I'm actually like trying to break in, like I'm a hacker, to see if it's actually going to work. So things like that. So I'm using generic passwords, like say your first and last name is Shy whatever, right? And then I'm going to use password because people use generic passwords.
Yeah.
So things like that, I got to check to see if those are not implemented. And if they are, I got to say, hey, we got to change this, we got to change that. So just like little things like that. That's what I do.
No, that's interesting. So you're working in tech, and then like you said, you're still trading. So talk about your trading journey too, because a lot of people, they quit trading after MLM. Like I always kind of poke fun at it and say a lot of y'all was only trading because of MLM.
Yeah. So I started IML in 2020, right? So back then, I was getting my feet wet. I didn't know anything about a PIB or even how to load up a broker account. So I really appreciate them for that, just like little stuff like that. And I think my first like 6 months, I wasn't profitable. And I started getting slowly profitable, and then, making money, losing money, making money, lose money. I think a year and a half after I paid for mentorship again, shout out US30 Slayer, one of my mentors for trading in Orlando. I saw him going crazy on IG, and Q Banks reposted him. Q Banks taught him.
Okay.
So he was like 22 at the time. He had like,
Q.
Yeah, shout out Q Banks. Get like Lambos, Ferraris. I'm like, bro, what's this kid doing? So I paid him like 5 bands, and literally everything I was missing, I learned it. I just got profitable from that point on. This was like, nobody laughed in 2022, so it's 2 years later. So from that point on, I think it took me like 2.5 years to get profitable. And then ever since then, it's just been kind of an autopilot, not being greedy, FOMO, things of that nature. So after that point, I feel like more psychological instead of technical.
Yeah.
So, but that's my
And
journey.
once again, you made a key point. You said you paid him how much? 5 bands?
Yeah, I paid him 5,000.
You know, so it's like everything you do, it doesn't matter if you're trying to get a job, it doesn't matter if you're trying to learn a skill set, you have to be willing to invest. I'm sure you didn't make that 5,000 back, you know, the next day.
Instantly, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, talk about like how you still feel that even though you have a job, you're still investing, you're still trading. Because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I get a job and that's it.
So that's the one misconception people have in America, and especially a lot of people that make a lot of money with a job, they're still broke because they're spending all their money and they're not investing the money either. So you have to do. It's like school. It's like if you work outside of school hours, you're doing homework, you're doing tutorials, you're gonna be better than the average student. So same thing with business or with finances, and that's a lot of people lack is financial literacy, and that's one thing I always said. Like I want to be the most educated in finance because that's where the money's at. Right. So you can have a good job if you're still financially literate. You're gonna be broke. You just have a nice car now, a nice house, but you lose your job, you're done. You know, so using a 9 to 5 to build your empire is the key because back then when we were doing IML, we were basically almost living check to check essentially, you know, and we're just chasing the dollar. So now I feel like I'm stable. My mindset is so clear now. My mentality is, I just feel like so peaceful now, knowing that I can throw extra $1,000 to my business. And if it doesn't work out, guess what? I have money coming in next week for my job. You know, so I have a financial security. And as older you get, you need to be financially secure. And I advise anybody, if you're not making consistent money from your business, get a job. It's gonna hurt for the short term, but I guarantee you in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, you're gonna thank me later.
But the funny thing is, most entrepreneurs, you know, quote unquote, they're not working on their business 8 hours a day.
They're not.
They're not even working on it 5 hours a day. So it's like, you know, you play the game, you wake up. If you're a trader, you may look at some charts. But like I tell people, having a job will teach you how to structure your time.
Facts.
And like you said, you know how to structure your time, going from meetings, doing your actual job, and then getting off and still being motivated to whether it's go to the gym, whether it's, you know, look at charts and, you know, talk about other investments. So I think, you know, a job will teach you how to have that structure because I've seen a lot of people just say, I'm an entrepreneur. And then I'm like, what do you do day to day? Well, you know, I played the game for 5 hours and, you know, I hung out with some friends. And then I'm like, well, what did you actually do for your business?
Yeah. And that's the thing with entrepreneurs. Now it's more of a flex than actually wanting to have a good business. Like everyone want to be a business owner.
Right. Everyone wants to in an Instagram bio entrepreneur.
But everybody's making $1,000, $2,000 a month, which is not bad, but it's like your business you can't live off of that, you know? And and they look down on somebody making 10 bands a month off their job, and they look at somebody with 100K followers making $3,000 a month. And they're like, oh, they're lit. But that's backwards though. That's not real world. So, you know, I think the mentality, especially our people our age, it's just messed up. But I think the older you get, people start realizing like, dang, like a job isn't bad.
Yeah, and you know, a job also taught me about other things like 401k and IRAs and all that type of stuff because a lot of people are, you know, they're entrepreneurs or they're traders, but they're not really putting anything away for the long term.
Yeah. Taxes,
exactly. So, you know, I think too, and you could probably speak to this, like, I'm sure your job has all that stuff set up. Did that help you kind of structure up and like do long-term investing with those type of accounts and things like that?
So I actually have, and companies, they match a lot of your 401k stuff too. So my job matches my 401k, whatever I put in, they match it. So I can't touch that money till I'm like, I think 59 or something, 55, whatever. So, and that's getting actually trading the market. They're trading it for me essentially. So even though, say I put in $10,000 a month, in a year in my 401k, it's still gonna make me like 10% that year or 6%. So over a course of time, you know about like compound interest, it's gonna balloon. And they're basically putting 50% of that money in there too, and it's growing interest. So it's a win-win. So I think unless you're making millions off your business, you know, I think a job is the best way to go and still have your business on the side too.
Right. Especially if you can do both. Like most people can do both. They just choose not to do both. Like I feel like you don't have a reason to, you know, fully be full-time on entrepreneurship, then go ahead and work for somebody because a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't always have that skill and that acumen that you learn on a job. And it could be simple things like just, you know, meetings and talking to people. But a lot of that you learn by being inside of a bigger company.
And that's called soft skills. So that's a big thing people lack too, is you can be the most smartest person, but if you can't communicate how you feel, articulate, you're not gonna get the job in the interview. That's what they look for. Are you a cool person? Can you talk? Can you talk to CEOs, CISOs of companies? So, you know, that's one thing a lot of people lack. They just think they're gonna stay home all day and become rich. But no, you need to actually be outside, talk to people, communicate. You know, just little things like that.
Right. So as far as staying motivated, because, you know, sometimes people, they get that dream job, they're making money, and they may not have that work-life balance. So how do you stay motivated, you know, because I'm sure you have other things you want to do long term, but what's the motivation at this point for you to keep going and to, like I said, get off work and still continue to invest in those other areas to build yourself up?
Especially as an African, like we have a crazy work ethic, and I have a lot of family back home too. So I want to do a lot of stuff back home. I have land back home I want to build on. So I'm just blessed that I'm here in America, you know, and then I'm blessed to know a lot of people that I used to look up to, like Vic, T Fade, you know, Adrian. You know, these are people that are my brothers right now, but I still look to them as like motivation where I want to be in life too. So just having people doing better than you is a big thing, because you can be the richest person in your circle and you go to Miami or somewhere and you're a nobody. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about
so like Lil Yachty was saying, he hang out with Drake for motivation. Drake got a PJ, $100 million crib. He's like, my $5 million crib is nothing compared to Drake's. And that's what keeps him going, you know? So having people that motivate you on a day-to-day basis, you know, because people can suck the energy out of you.
Yeah.
You know, so having people that you get energy from, that's how I keep myself sane and I keep my motivation.
Yeah, that's a big key, because, you know, if you're around the wrong people, if you're around, you know, like my mom used to tell me, if you're around 5 unmotivated people, then you're going to be the 6th unmotivated person.
Exactly.
So, you know, your network is definitely your net worth. And like I said, all the things that we know about trading and just everything, and even getting into tech, you know, you can build a network in that, because people don't realize, you know, some of the people that they're looking up to on IG and, you know, making $100,000 a month or $50K a month. There's people, they may not be making $100,000 a month, but I met some people in the corporate world who are doing what a lot of entrepreneurs want to do.
Exactly.
You know, so they're already, you know, making multiple six figures. You know, they have a good work-to-life balance. And now, like, a lot of people are building their content around having a job.
Exactly. It's kind of weird now. It's kind of reversed. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's almost become like cool. Like, I see so many people, especially in tech, who they probably make just as much by leveraging and teaching people, you know, how to get into tech, you know, or whatever the job field may be. And we talked a little bit, you said that's something you're going to be doing very soon.
Yeah, so top of next year, you know, I feel like these last couple of months and last year I've been more to myself, but next year I want to give back, not give back, but more on some educational mentorship type stuff. So I think top of next year I'm gonna be ready to launch that off and, you know, start like a Discord and a Telegram and stuff to just show people the ropes.
Got you. So right now, like, are you helping people like look at resume, or like, do you help people with resumes and stuff like that? Because even to this day, people ask me, like, I just helped another, you know, bro, he was looking into getting into tech sales, and like, I was like, yo, you know, do this, do that. Because a lot of people don't have, you know, that college experience that they wanted to teach them. So I feel like that's a skill set too, just being able to help people structure up to get those jobs.
Yeah. So like close people around me, like my cousins and stuff, they send me their resumes and then I'll help them out. And some of them actually got jobs just for me fixing their resume. So if people come to me, you know, I'm willing to give a helping hand, but it's not like I'm promoting it at the moment, you know. So, but people come to me, you know, I'm definitely giving an open hand.
All right. So if you had to tell somebody right now, you know, to pursue a career or to focus on entrepreneurship, what do you think your answer would be to somebody?
I would say look at the pros and cons of each, and long term and short term, which is the best for you. You know, everybody's situation is different. So honestly, me for now, as a 25-year-old, I would say get a good stable income and then transition to a business. But most people, they get into a stable income, they're not gonna do their business.
Right.
So it kind of hinders people too. So I feel like it's really up to the person, that work ethic, you know. But some people, they can't work a job because it'll hinder their business. They won't work on their business. So I think you got to know yourself and do a lot of personal self-development and look yourself in the mirror. And that's what a lot of people lack. But that's one thing I'm blessed that I had, you know. I would say if you do get into industry, get into tech, because tech is such a big field and it's so much money in tech, and it's not saturated. People think saturated, it's not saturated.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say get into tech or some type of job that you know is going to be here forever, that's going to make you at least 6 figures, and use that money into investing into your business and saving money as well.
Right. And you know, even for me, I'm like, you know, when I got into tech, I work specifically with governments and colleges, so that's who I'm providing software. So those are not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're not.
You know, and tech is not going anywhere. And like, even from my traders out there, I'm like, people over here trading US or you know, NAS 100.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's all tech companies.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, you know, you realize you're literally trading, you know, companies and putting that money into the market. But yeah, you know, bro, you've given so many keys, and, you know, just talking about personal development and staying motivated. You know, you got any books or things you recommend, whether it's for people trying to get into tech or just overall personal development?
Oh my God.
I know it's a lot of them.
Yeah. The Secret. I really think nobody laugh your tongue. The way you talk about yourself, how you think about yourself is going to be reality. Like, before anybody had anything, they had to think that they were that person. Drake had to do it. Kanye had to do it. And it might seem like arrogant, people might laugh at you at the beginning, but once it's reality, nobody laughing no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what motivates me. I got to prove people wrong, and I got to prove myself right as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, Think and Grow Rich, learn about money, learn how to think. The Secret, nobody laughs at so many books. Oh my gosh. I like what's his name? Nobody laughing. Damn. Nobody laughing. Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale. Yeah. It's so many people. But honestly, look at anybody successful and just watch their motivational video. I was watching Future today. Future very motivational. Like, he's like, man, I gotta get out the mud, this and that. Like, but he's just a street dude that had a good mindset. He believed in himself. And he actually is Andre 3000's nephew. They used to laugh at him when he was rapping in high school. They were laughing at him.
They were laughing at Future.
Yeah, Future. They call him like Meathead. That was his name back then. He's like, man, I don't care what they think. And I look at Future now. Look at Kanye. People laugh at Kanye, crazy, but he be talking real stuff. And that's one of my like idols, Kanye, because he like pours into himself and he pours into other people. You know, so he just teaches me how to believe in myself, how to think, and anything's possible in this world. You know.
Yeah. And before we started, we were just talking about like kind of going off the grid. And I think that's what a lot of people don't want to do. Some people are worried about being seen. They don't want to lock in and really do the work, because when you're doing the work, you got to really, go through it. You got to get in the mud and get dirty. And, I think every person, especially as a young Black man, like you have to go through that phase where you're not outside, where you're not focused on women, where you're just focused on your goals and building that foundation. So like, do you feel like you had to do that at one point to really, just lock in with yourself? Not saying you can't do both, but you know what I mean? Where you have to really decide what you want.
Man, honestly, I am male. I ghost a lot of people, and I think that's how I propelled myself. And then going from credit to tech, I didn't talk to nobody for like 6 to 8 months. Like even cousins, I follow you. You said I followed you.
Man, follow me on Instagram, bro. I invite him to my podcast.
But like you gotta lock in for yourself. And now when people like don't talk to me or whatever, I'm like, they gotta do what's best for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's always love at the end of the day. And you gotta go ghost. I feel like you can't be one foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. So same thing with like the streets. People try to be a rapper, they try to be a street dude. I seen Lil TJ got arrested today. Yeah, like you can't do both, bro. You gotta pick one. Right. You gotta pick one. So I think if this is what you want to do for real, and people not rocking with you, you gotta do what's best for you. And like before I got into tech, I had a girl I like was in love with. I had to break up with her, and it broke my heart because I had to do what's best for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to make a lot of tough decisions, and a lot of people that's in successful positions, they had to do the same thing too, even worse. People sleep in cars, like sell their house, different stuff. So it's how bad do you want success? So you gotta go ghost. Don't be seen. All these same girls gonna be here. Everybody gonna be here next year, 3 years from now, and they're gonna be in the same position, not maybe even worse. Right. So as long as you're working on yourself, bro, you're not missing on anything, bro. Everybody's still gonna be here.
That's solid advice. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up here, but what do you see for yourself next? Obviously growing in your career, but what are some things you're looking into? Whether it's real estate, are you kind of looking at other areas right now? Like I need to look at this for the long term.
Me and my mom are talking about doing like fix and flips with homes for real estate. I want to do some stuff back home with like my cousins and stuff and siblings. And then things here, just grow my portfolio with my stocks. I do want to be more consultant within the tech space and be more of a mentor and just more of a public figure in that sense. So I think maybe now is more building my brand and just getting my assets up for the near future, and then just live life.
You mentioned stocks. You got any stock picks you want to throw out there?
I really been heavy on crypto because stocks right now I think is gonna go down with the election. So I've been like looking at crypto. I like XRP. I've been holding XRP since 2020.
Okay,
that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, we're all waiting for it to
blow. It blew last year for a little bit, then it fell back down. But I would do a lot of AI chips and tech companies because that's the future. So like Nvidia, one of my mentors made like $250K off that last year, just off a stock chip. So anything dealing with tech, I would look into it, and then ETFs too, just for like for safe stuff.
Safe stuff. Yeah. Man, well, you've given a lot of knowledge. I mean, you talked about your journey transitioning from different, careers and entrepreneurship, and then putting it all together and making it work, man. So go ahead and let the people know where to find you. That way when you drop that course, that consultation, they can actually hit you up.
Yeah. So my Instagram is still Will Season, STEELWILLSZN. I'm mainly on IG. Our LinkedIn as well. My name is Will R on IG. Probably the best two places to see me at. I'm trying to launch a YouTube channel pretty soon, just more like content, lifestyle, and tips, and just day-to-day stuff to like grow as a person with your mindset and stuff. So that'll be launching soon as well. But this is definitely a great podcast. I hope people learn a lot of good gems for this, and time to get rich.
No, for sure. Well, like I said, bro, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Just having a good conversation. And like always, make sure you guys, like, subscribe, and, leave a comment. And if you got any value from this video, make sure you stick around because we're going to have tons of more guests dropping tons of information to help you bring your vision to reality. So until the next time, it's your boy Shy. I'm out. Peace.